Quarantine Diaries, day 34, and it is time to initiate the third and final phase of my plan. But before we do that, let's hear Jonathan's Thursday thought.
It's time for another edition of Jonathan's Thursday Thought. First off, I want to give condolences to the Shula family and the loss of Don Shula, the great Miami Dolphins coach. He died Monday morning at age 90. And on to the next topic, NFL schedule to be released tonight. And speaking of the schedule, there will be no international games played overseas for the NFL. Which, I mean, come on, man. Nobody likes playing overseas for the NFL games. I mean, if you're going to play them at home. And last but not least, Andy Dalton signs a one-year deal with the Cowboys. I mean, Jaguars, really? You couldn't sign Andy Dalton? I mean, come on, man! Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him. But when he asks, he must believe and not doubt, because he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That man should not think he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all he does.
Awesome. Thanks, Jonathan. Well, we're continuing to talk about the unwavering faith of Joseph. And if you're following along, Joseph has risen to power and is now second command in Egypt. And he's played a prank on his brothers. He's kind of pulled the wool over his brother's eyes, and we will talk about all the ramifications and all the stuff that we can pull from the life of Joseph tomorrow when we wrap up the story of his life. But today I want to focus on another aspect. During this loneliness, during this time of uncertainty, Joseph is in this very dark place. But today I want to focus on one aspect of Joseph's life that I think points to Christ almost more than anything, and that is the fact that Joseph is a faithful servant. His whole life, back when he's with his father, he's a shepherd in the field. Similar to David, remember we talked about he's faithful with the lion and the bear. Before he even goes and fights Goliath, we don't really know how long he's out in the field, but he's faithful and he's growing in his relationship with God. Similar to Joseph, he's faithful with his father's flocks. Then later on, after he's sold into slavery, faithful with Potiphar's household. And then he is falsely accused. He's innocent of no sin, thrown back into prison. And then he's faithful there. He interprets the dreams and just where God's put him. Remember, with Paul, he's in prison and he's talking about being content in every situation. He's talking about the fact that he can do all things through Christ that gives him strength while he's in prison. And so we kind of see that same thing with Joseph. And then once he gets to Egypt, once he is the second in command after he saved them from a famine, he's continuing to serve, and God has given him this platform where he can make a difference, and he ends up not only saving the Egyptians but saving his own people. And we just see all these amazing things that happens because Joseph is focused on service. He's focused on the things of God. So today's challenge, I just want you to figure out one way to serve someone in your life today. And you don't have to share it. We're not going to send these in or anything, but just find something maybe around your house, maybe something with your parents, maybe something with a neighbor. But just use your imagination and think of one way to serve someone today. And pray to God that he gives you those opportunities to bless someone. But remember that they may ask you for the reason for the hope that you have. So be ready. You play stupid games, win stupid prizes.